Hey everybody, welcome back to our PH Lab. This week we're going to be talking about Microsoft Teams and looking at some chat-based collaboration. Office 365 has been described as a collaboration toolkit. You've been working with email collaboration for decades. Chat-based collaboration through Teams is one of the newest tools from Microsoft, and it's exciting to work with this because of its speed and agility and the openness for Teams. It's like your virtual conference room or your digital conference room where the whole team can be in there. All right, so let's take a look at Teams and see what it does. I want to go over the user interface a little bit so you have some orientation and then show you some of the functionality and how I use it. So on the left-hand side here, you see this dark blue bar here. This dark blue bar starts with Activity, Chat, and Teams. Teams is the default tab that it opens to. When you open the default tab here, you've got your sales operations team and we've got our marketing team. So I'm a member of two different teams right here. And I can expand those teams simply by clicking on them and seeing everything that's involved with it. Under each team, there are several channels. Channels can be ideas or topics or sub-projects that specific team is working on. So I can have separate memberships in different teams that involve different people within our organization, and they will all be listed here. The way you create a team is down here on the bottom when you click on Join or Create Team right here. Now the default for creating a team is it's in a private mode. You have to choose to open it up. You give it a name, give it a description. Once you choose how you want it and you select Next, you start populating it with your team members. They'll get invites to participate in it. All right. Within the team, you've got these ellipses right over here on the right-hand side. Anytime you see three dots together in Microsoft, that's a More Options button. So notice the ellipses here. I have the ability to add teams to my favorite section, which elevates them in my list of teams. So if you're a member of 10 or 15 teams, you could get lost in the mix there. So put your highest priority teams in your favorite section. You can add additional channels or add additional memberships right there. Or, you know, I've moved within my organization. I need to leave this team. I can choose to do that without it having to be managed through a system administrator. Well, you have a different set of ellipses when you click on the channels here. So every team has a general chat channel to start with. If I open up this ellipses, here I can add additional connectors into my team, so that into that particular channel and that project. I can get the email address. Well, why have that email address? Have you ever gotten an email from somebody external and you want to share it with your whole team? You get the email address and then you forward that email with that email address. It puts it right into the chat portion right here in your conversations here within your team. Let me show you what that looks like. Right here is your conversation portion. It creates a chat window right here with that email attached. Now the whole team has that information available to you. Well, when you come over here into the chat window, this is called a persistent chat. So this is always there. This is great for the whole team to see information. You've got some speed and agility. It allows people to come in and get up to speed on different ideas, raise questions for the whole team to address right here on specific projects. That's why you have a conversation tab with each one of the channels that you have under that team. So it depends on what project you're working on. Raise questions about that. That's one of the best ways to start a conversation, is by asking a question. Now, just like in many of the social medias we've looked at before, I can reply to those simply by hitting the reply button. You have call outs. You can call out specific individuals and they'll actually get notified that they've been involved in that chat. I also have some ellipses that are available here within the chat window itself where I can edit or we can delete a chat that's no longer valid to the whole team. Then, let's take a look down here in the bottom of this window. Here I can add some formatting to my conversations, or I can add attachments. This is a great way to bring a document or a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet into the conversation here with the whole team simply by hitting on this attach button right here and navigating to it. Let me show you what that looks like. So if I hit this attach button here and I browse to my computer and my desktop, here's a document that I want to load into the team called Northwind Traders US Agreement. When I click on that and hit open, it brings it into the chat window and I can ask the whole team to please, I can't type in front of people, sorry you guys, view and make your changes. Okay, when I hit enter, it's now posted, the whole team gets it, but the other places gets posted is right here in the Files tab, up here at the top. See where I am? When I click on Files, now this document is listed within the document library for that specific project and that specific team. Okay, let's go back into our conversation window. I want to show you what this plus sign right here does. This allows you to add additional tabs. Well, one of the favorite tabs I like to use in almost every one of my teams is OneNote. We almost always have a OneNote notebook for the whole team to have conversations around. Now, I'm not going to get into that heavily right now because we're going to have a whole conversation about OneNote in a future PH lab. But there are literally dozens and dozens of these connectors that you can connect to, and they're not all Microsoft tools. So let's say there's a spreadsheet that your team always focuses on and has to reference. Set it up as a tab and connect to it right here through your connectors, and here's my Excel tab. I can just navigate to that spreadsheet and put it up there. If there's some analytics that are important to our team, let's just connect through Power BI. If there's some task-based collaboration that's important to your team, connect it to a planner site. Next week we're going to be talking about planners, so be aware of that. We'll get into that a little bit further as we go. Now, when I open up this document that we set up here in Teams, if I just click on that document, it's going to open up in preview only mode. I get to choose to edit. Now the reason it opens up in preview, I can think of two reasons for this. One is Microsoft has shared with us that the majority of the time a document's opened is to view it, it's not to edit it. But if I do want to edit it, I have several choices here. So this is the second reason. Because you can open it directly in Teams or in Word Online, that means you've got the ability to access this document from any device that has a browser. Well, have you ever accidentally pocket dialed somebody? Can you imagine having your phone in your pocket, accidentally opening up the Teams site, walking around making permanent changes to your documents? I think that's the second reason why we have it open up in preview only mode. All right, so I've got several choices here. This edit in Word right here is the desktop, the rich client. That has all the commands and features, so if you're doing some heavy lifting on that document, you may want to edit it directly in Word itself. Or I can edit in Teams or Word Online. These are very similar because they're the lightweight companion versions of the tools here. And so I don't have as many features, but I still have a lot of powerful tools. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to choose Edit in Teams. Now here's my command structure. You notice it doesn't have as many features, but those are still powerful commands that are available to us. Now I can scroll through that document simply over here on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side. I can grab the scroll bar and scroll through the document. Now this is important to notice here. If I go ahead and highlight a paragraph, I want you to show you what this looks like when we co-author this document. Now I've highlighted that paragraph. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my multiple desktop view here with additional desktops and the keyboard shortcut Control Windows side arrow, snap over to my other desktop, and we're going to come in as Greg Winston and open up his Teams version. And if we go to the M400 document library here, there's that document that we were just in. And if he chooses to edit this document, we'll do it in Teams here as well. Notice in the upper right-hand side here, he can see that Jeff Hay is also in this document right now. So simply by clicking on Jeff Hay's name up here, he can jump to where Jeff Hay is in the document, and it will show him the edits and the changes that Jeff has made as he goes through this document. Hey, you guys, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes and looking at the user interface with me with Teams. We're going to wrap it up right here. There's a lot more we can cover, but the best way to get in is start playing with it and have some fun with it. Don't worry about breaking it. You're not going to break it. We can always back out of what we've done. So play with it, make it your sandbox, and have some fun with Teams. Next week, join us for the PH Lab. We're going to be talking about Planner, which is task-based collaboration. Thank you very much.